Hi y'all, and welcome to my channel. Now, if you like skincare, self-care, makeup, beauty, or maybe just want to hear about what's stuck on my craw today, stick around. But I am an adult, and as such, I have opinions, commentary, and occasionally vulgarity. So if you're going to find that offensive, probably don't want to stick around. That being said, today I'd like to take you through a normal skincare routine. Well, normal for this day, because every day kind of changes depending on my skin. And we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, the first thing we're going to do, and because it's the morning and my skin tends to be dry, well, not so much dry, but not oily. So what I'll end up doing is either splashing my face with water or using my micellar water in the morning. Sometimes I use a cleanser, especially during the summer if I'm sweaty. So today we are going to start with the Mizon one-step cleansing water. And it is a new micellar water that I am trying. Let's see, where is it? There we go. It doesn't really have much of a scent. This is the first time I'm using it, so you're going to get my official opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and soak a cotton pad reusable. And I'm going to go ahead and wipe my face down with it. Now, as with anything with your face, especially as you get older, you want to not just drag it and tear up your skin. You want to gently wipe. Because all we're trying to do is get off any dirt, maybe a little bit of oil that you collected over the evening. Especially for me, this greasy super part, and the rest of it's dry. Go ahead and get the neck. Go ahead and get the neck. To get behind my ears too. And so now we're done with that. Now normally what I do is after I do my cleansing water, I will go in with my essence. And right now the essence that I'm using is the Neogen Real Ferment Micro Essence. Pa-ching! I want to get that closer so you can see it. There we go. Now, this has worked really well for me. It does not burn my skin. And I like that it kind of helps everything soak in my face. And what I do is I just tap a little bit on my hand, and then I put my hands together, and then just right like that. And then I'm going to go in and kind of put it on my face. And then what I have left over, I'm going to put on my hands because, you know, your hands need to look good too. And don't waste product. Now, the next thing I'm going to go in with is my chemical exfoliant. And right now I'm using a BHA. Give me just a second. I'm going to kind of just let it. It's kind of cool where I am. It's in a part of my house where I don't have a heater. So it's a little chilly, but I want it to kind of dry down just a tiny, tiny bit because I still want my face to be moist. Okay. Now, so the chemical exfoliant that I'm using today is the Isntree Clear Skin BHA Toner. Oop, too close. There we go. Now, there were other BHA toners that I've used, but and I'll get into them in a different video. But the other ones were not soaking in my skin. They basically worked for about a month and then just leave a greasy mess on my face. So I found this, ordered it on a whim, and it's worked out really well for me. So again, reusable cotton pad. I'm going to saturate it with this. And like with all chemical exfoliants, you want to avoid your eyes. So I tend to just, I fold it over a little bit, and then I go over, start with my forehead, and then go directly to the greasiest part of my face, where all my sebaceous filaments are. And I don't know if you all have noticed, but I do tend to have enlarged pores. Now, I never had acne. As a teenager, I was very lucky that way. I had pimples, but not acne. And unfortunately, these large pores are kind of a genetic thing. Parents, grandparents, all of them. I'm going to go ahead and get my neck down as far as I can to my chest. And now we are done with that. Now sometimes what I'll do is I will use a toner after this. I'm not going to today because my skin doesn't really feel like it needs it. And normally I like keeping my face moist. I'm a lot like James Wells, if you've ever seen his YouTube videos. If you haven't, I'll probably put a link to his YouTube page, YouTube channel, down there. Yeah, because you haven't heard of him, where have you been? Anyway, so let this dry down just a little bit, just to try and get some of that PHA into my skin, because it goes a little deeper than your AHA and works more at pulling, kind of dissolving the oil in all your pores. Now, normally, this next serum, I don't use it during the summer. I have a love-hate relationship with one of the components. I'm going to go ahead and bring it out here. This is the Wish Trend Polyphenols and Propolis 15% Ampule. Let me get that closer and see if you can see it. There we go. Anyway, what happens is during the summer, propolis for some reason doesn't soak into my skin. It's, again, skin is variable as you age, temperature, humidity, stress, hormones, all of that's going to affect how products work on you. And what worked last month may not work this month. So I kind of have a rotation of things I know that work. And during the winter, propolis sometimes does real good. And I got this as part of a Wish Trend box that I purchased. And I thought I would try it. And so far, I'm about a third of the way through it. And it's worked okay. So I'm going to take this little guy. And I almost always use a whole one of those. I don't do very well with this, do I? And I just squirt that right there. Put that back in there. I do this. You're going to see a lot of how I apply just as one big coat, because I like being sure that every part of my face is getting this, and it's not just one part. So there's my initial pat down. I'm going to take what excess is on my hands or my palms and put it on the rest of my hands. Maybe down on my arms. Now what I can tell you is during the summer, propolis is very, very sticky on my skin. Very sticky. So I don't tend to use anything with propolis in it. But during the winter, because my skin kind of dries out, it works pretty good. So far, I haven't had a problem with it. And I'm very happy about that. Okay, now that we're done with the serum portion, we are on to the moisturizer. And again, I'm sorry I didn't bring a toner, but my face seemed hydrated enough today that I didn't need to constantly spray it or add it into my routine. Now, the moisturizer I'm choosing today, I've had for a while. Off and on I use it. I don't use it consistently. And it's the e.l.f. Happy Hydration Cream. Let's see if I can get that close. Happy Hydration Cream. They also make another hydration, another one I haven't tried, but I really like this one. So, again, I'm a woman of a certain age. That's a lot of moisturizer, which is not for me. So I'm going to put that on there. I'll set that down. And then I'm just going to and what I can say so far is everything that I've put onto my face so far today, with the exception of the exfoliator. I already have too much. I did put too much. So it's going to go into my arms and hands. It goes right over my eyes. I make sure that when I buy skincare, for the most part, that it will not burn my eyes or irritate my eyes, because what good is sunscreen if it's not going to go over some of the most fragile skin on your face? So let me just continue to rub this in, pat this in, whatever you want to call it. Now, that serum dries down really nice, the one before from Wish Trend, and this is a very, what is the word, emollient? Is emollient the word I'm looking for? Anyway, it's a thick moisturizer. It may not work for someone who is super, super oily. I'm pretty sure this would work pretty well if you have dry skin, since this part of my face is dry and only this is oily. But, so yeah, there is the e.l.f. Hydration Cream. I think I look pretty dewy. I want to let it dry down just a tiny, tiny little bit before I go into the sunscreen that I got yesterday. Because to be honest, my ride or die sunscreen has been the Purito Centella unscented sunscreen. My issue is that there are a lot of filters in the US, in fact most of them, that the minute it touches my skin, it burns my skin, so I can't use them. I've gone to European or Korean or Japanese sunscreens because they don't tend to use those same filters in their sunscreen, so it doesn't feel like I'm putting lava on my face. That's actually pretty good. Okay. So, after the whole issue with Purito, and I'm letting it ride to see how these other third-party tests come out. I'm never going to get rid of it, but I'm not going to use it as my main sunscreen. It's a good moisturizer, so that may be what I use it for. I don't know. I tend to double layer my sunscreen anyway, because, I mean, do you know how much work it takes to keep this pale? It's super hard. And really, I hate to say this, but this is fairly tan. If I lifted up my shirt and you saw my abdomen, I would seriously blind you. Yeah. Okay, this is pretty much dried down. So we're going to go to the sunscreen I got yesterday. And I've been wanting to try this for almost a year now. I know. And it's the Beet Shield from Crave. I've heard good things about it over and over and over. So, we're going to try it today. Ooh. Choked on my own sweetness. Anyway, here is the Beet Shield. It has a weird... I really should have brought my water in here. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and squirt this out. I know it's not that much, but I don't know how it's going to set, and if it's going to be a 1-layer sunscreen or a 2-layer. Ooh. Doesn't really have a smell. No, it doesn't. So I'm going to go ahead and just start here. I usually start with my forehead and work my way down. I know that what I put in my hand is probably not enough, so we're going to see how this much sits in. And then we've got the eyes. Now, if there is one place you want to make sure you have sunscreen, it's your eyes and ears, because that seems to be where cancer is popping up now more frequently. I think I read that in the news. I think that's where I read it. But what I can tell you is that my grandmother had melanoma on her nose, and it took over a decade to get rid of it. She always sunbathed. And then my mother, she had skin cancer removed from underneath her eye and on her arm. And it's just years and years of not wearing sunblock. Now, what I can tell you is when I was a child, she smothered us in sunblock. Oh my gosh. Like we didn't go out the house without smelling like coconut. Okay. Well, I think I'm getting on enough. I already need more. So I've not, I think I've got the right amount now. I'm going to have to put on my face. So, another big amount. We're going to go on this side. There's another YouTuber. Her name is Shundara. And she always talks about how people razz her about application of sunscreen moisturizers. You know, some of us just need more. I don't have a particularly big head, but I also don't want to go get sunburned. So now I've got all of this. And so we're going to go ahead and get the neck. I usually wear just t-shirts, so there's not a lot of this that's exposed. So don't worry about it too much. But you also want to get your ears. That is also another one of those things that burn. My father was actually diagnosed with skin cancer on the top of his ear. He works outside. So you guys, it's really important to wear your sunscreen. And not just us super pale people. Everyone, regardless of the amount of melanin you have, sun still does damage. Okay, so it's not burning my face, which is amazing. So I'm going to use what was left. I'm just going to rub it between my hands and put it on my face. Now this will probably take 15 to 20 minutes to dry down, which is I think what they tell you to wait anyway. Put on sunscreen before you go outside. So and now my hands with what's left on my palms. And that's it. That is the 6 steps of skincare I did today, this morning. Now after this, if I'm going to wear makeup, I'll have a primer, and then you have foundation, all the rest of it. But, I mean, for the most part's done. It's going to take, you know, a little bit to dry down. I'll let you guys know if it doesn't. I don't think it's going to be a problem. It feels like a lot of the sunscreens that I've used. It's not sticky. It's really good. But yeah, so pretty common skincare routine. Most of the time I will have a toner. I did not today. And again, none of it burns my skin. Now, have you used any of these products? Do you have issues with them? Any suggestions you think might work better than what I have? Let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed yourself. And what is stuck in my craw today? Anything? Did anything upset me today? I don't think so. Oh my goodness. I haven't drove to the next town over. Nope. Sorry guys, didn't have anything to really complain about today or have some sort of realization about. Sorry. Some days are worse than others. But anywho, let me know if you've used any of the products and what you think. And y'all be safe out there. And I'll see you next time. Bye.